their chairs, maybe you're doing something wrong. Maybe you need a course on how to take home movies, especially if you've just bought some new video equipment. And we'll find out about such a course offered in London right after this. The PUC in London that could be of interest to you, especially if you're thinking of buying some video equipment for home use. With us today is Rael Wienburg, who's from Radar Video, and you are going to be offering this course, video production. A lot of people are getting into this, aren't they?
That's right. There are so many VCRs being bought at the moment, and with the VCR you can rent movies and record programs, and that's about it. But to be able to use the VCR effectively, that's where the camera comes into being.
So are a lot of people buying cameras for home use and then finding that they really don't know how to use it properly?
I think people are undecided now. They have the old Super 8 movies and they're not sure which way to go with it. But I think the idea of a course like this is to create an interest in and to show the usage of video cameras, how it can be used, and it may encourage someone who's thinking of buying a camera to do a course like this, so they'll be able to know what they're doing and not waste hours of footage on the old home movie type productions.
Mm-hmm. Is it more expensive to get into video than it would be to use film from an old type of camera, that type of thing?
It's more expensive initially, the outlay for the equipment, but ultimately the amount of time one can get on a video cassette is far more and less expensive than the movies. The old Super 8 at the moment is about $10 for a 3-minute film, and you can spend let's say $15 for a 3-5 hour video cassette. So there's no comparison in actual cost, but the initial equipment is a little more expensive, but there are cameras in the various price ranges, so you can get a cheaper camera, but then you'll be limited with what you can do with that particular camera. So when you're thinking of buying a camera, you have to decide what you want to use it for and to what extent you would like to expand into your own little home movie productions.
Mm-hmm. What are the limitations then?
The limitations will be the light levels you can film under, the zooming capacities, either 2 power, 4 power, 6 or 8 power zoom. Someone thinking of going into the wild to film wild animals or whatever would like a high-powered zoom. You have the titling possibilities on cameras now. You can actually put in your own titles. You can even put a stopwatch symbol on your screen, and when you're filming a kid running or your child or whatever, you could actually show the time on the screen. And then when you're playing it back on your recorder, you can press a pause and slow motion. You can have slow motion effects to see exactly how he's performing or how you're performing or whatever.
I guess with film, too, once you've filmed something, it's there for good, whereas with video, you can erase something that maybe you don't want and use it over again. Is that not correct?
I think that's exactly right. What the course will be doing is to make the person very efficient, and that's, I think, the idea with video. You can if you're not happy with a particular sequence, you can rewind it and film over it. So you can end up with a complete production without the necessity to edit. And that's where productions can become more expensive, more complicated by using different machines to edit. But this course, we will be showing minimal editing possibility using other equipment, how you can edit from one tape to another. But basically, the homeowner will have his own machine, and the idea of the course is to show how he can produce a film without too much extra involvement other than the equipment that he has at hand.
Even if they just want to maybe film a birthday party or something like that.
Exactly. I think in the old days, let's call it the old days, with the Super 8 movies, you used to just film and try and limit to your 3 minutes or whatever. And I don't think that much thought was put into it before. And I used to have my own Super 8 cameras, but now each thing you do is basically a production. You're filming your children's party. Think about it beforehand. Put in a little introduction, and then film the party in some form of sequence, rather than just filming haphazardly and and not ending up with a result that friends would like to look at a later, or you would like to look at a later stage.
Yes, getting people in to watch home movies can
That's right.
be difficult if the movies are terrible.
Sure. So the more you understand how you understand your equipment and how you can use it will obviously affect the final results.
Well, you teach people how to really take a good picture with a video camera, because I'm sure there is a right ways and wrong ways to do that.
The main purpose or the main idea of the course will be a hands-on experience. A certain percentage of time, maybe a third of the time, will be instructing and theory, and 2/3 hands-on. The idea being dividing the class into groups, and each group would, let's say, have 4 members, and each member in the 5 weeks would have an opportunity to play a different role, either as a cameraman, maybe a lighting person, maybe a sound person, or even a producer. So you will touch on each different aspect of video productions, and by the end of the course they'll have a very good knowledge of the camera and the recorder. Not that they will be able to go out and particularly film totally professional results. That's not what the course, the time restriction won't allow that, but they will have a very good idea of the equipment.
Mm-hmm. So the course is 5 weeks, and it's offered through the PUC. And how much is it?
It's $25 plus the cost of one video cassette, and that is it. So it's a very reasonable amount for what I believe they will get out of the course.
Do you need equipment? Do you need to bring along a camera?
No, it's not essential, and that's what it's laid out in the program. It will help in order to in the actual groups that we form. So each group will be able to we can overlap filming at times, but that's not essential. We will work that out.
I imagine there are different types, different manufacturers of VCR equipment. Are you going to cover base for all of them so that what you're teaching is really good for every type of equipment?
This is I wouldn't say a problem, but the situation at the moment, that you have two home systems, the VHS and Beta, and it's not my intention to concentrate on one or the other, to give an idea of the basics in video, and I may use one or the other system, but I'm sure in the class itself there will be the different systems, and that is not really the focus at all. It's purely to learn how to use the camera and recorder, but that does exist, the different systems, mm-hmm. And we will explain, and they'll understand the different systems that are available.
And the capabilities, I guess, of each system.
That's right.
Okay, this is, as we said, it's run through the PUC, and it starts next Tuesday, so we don't have too much time. There are a few openings left over, and you were saying that if you get a lot of people, you might have a second class.
Yes, well, that is the point. It's all depending on, there's minimum and maximum in each class, and we'll base whether 1 or 2 classes on that minimum or maximum, depending on the amount of people that register. But they do intend having more than one class if the first one is filled up.
Okay. The number to call to register for video production is 679-5730. 679-5730, and that's the PUC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.